Let's lead a battle. My father. We all know what film this is. It's the film 300 about the Spartans. And the reason I wanted to share this video is because this scene especially really, really resonates with me. I like to... This one, by the way, is fan edit, has cut out all the bits that were relevant that I'm trying to explain, because my perception of this scene is very beautiful, I think, and it's more so the dynamic between the king and queen. And I'd like to share it with other people, hoping that more people see what I see, and especially going forward, you will be able to. So if we just watch through it first, then I'm going to come back to the start and then narrate it back through. I think that will probably make sense, because you'll see my face at certain points anyway if you actually watch it. My response and stuff is quite emotionally triggering, this scene for me anyway, just based off the way I'm trying to live my life. And even just like mate selection, I say mate selection instead of dating and finding a partner, because I'm trying to find my queen, and I'm not saying I'm like great King Leonidas, but I'm trying my best to be considered a great man. Realistically, you couldn't be a king anyway unless you're a monarch. But somewhere along the way, someone must have been a king. If by just being the best leader for the tribe, and he took responsibility for everyone, their safety, and then it grew because he took more people in, and he was responsible for every single person within his care, and that's within his kingdom. That's what a true king does, a real king, a real great leader, not a ruler, not an emperor, not a dictator, but a leader would take responsibility for everyone within his care, so everyone that's important to him, which is all of his people, because they're all his people. They've come for his protection, to contribute to the tribe and the greater good of the tribe, to be protected by the tribe. And that's how we used to have to survive in modern day society. It's the same as, why do some people change from one country to another right now? Because they're going from this dangerous country, where they maybe even enslaved in some way, to freedom and protection, and they're willing to, which it should be realistically, hand themselves over and give themselves, surrender themselves to the other tribe, which they should hopefully be able to contribute to, otherwise they're useless. And the tribal leader would take them in. And this is basically what's happened with me and my friend group at the moment. So it's quite important to us as well. But this scene has been in my head for years, and it's just become more and more relevant. Well, what would a great king look like? And I look at someone like this and think, this man gave his life for his people, sacrificed his life to protect his son, his queen, and his people. And I would consider that a great king, because a great leader and a king would say sacrifice. It is work, it is effort, but you do it for the greater good. You do it for these people who are special and that you've vowed to protect in whatever way that is. In a modern day society, that still stands the same. You take protection of their physical safety if you're a strong, capable male. That's what we do. But then it's in so many other capacities, because you could now be in a professional environment. Well, a strong leader would still do the same things. You value people, you treat them well, you treat them with respect and dignity, you treat them as human beings, you bring them up, you empower them, you upskill them to get another promotion, step up another level, give them more responsibilities, take charge. It's all the same thing. But we've just lost strong leadership. And it's a real impact it's having on society, because without strong leadership, you have demoralized people. Demoralized people don't want to work. Nothing gets done. Things go backwards. When you have strong leadership, less skilled people will do way more work, because they will give it everything. And I see people in less developed countries, and they've got stronger leadership because they are trying to rise up the development of their country. Their mentality and their whole energy about them is so different, because it's all togetherness. It's all for the good of the tribe. And that's why, no matter how big it gets, that's what you should really strive for. Something like the UK, not quite thinking like that. They're more for the good of himself at the top, because they live so separate to us these days. He's not living separate, he lives with his people. Roll the scene.
Toward me. Fear is always constant, but accepting it will make you stronger. My queen. The Persian emissary awaits Leonidas. In the end, the Spartan's true strength is the warrior next to him. So give respect and honor to him, and it will be returned to you. First, you fight with your head.
Then you fight with your heart.
What is it?
Never like teammates.
Persian messenger awaits.
Do not forget today's lesson.
Respect and honor.
Respect and honor. Before you speak, Persian, know that in Sparta, everyone, even a king's messenger, is held accountable for the words of his voice. Now, what message do you bring? Earth and water.
Do not be coy or stupid, Persian. You can afford neither in Sparta.
Do you bring? Before you speak, Persian, know that in Sparta, everyone, even a king's messenger, is held accountable for the words of his voice. Now, what message do you bring? Earth and water. All the way from Persia for earth and water.
Do not be coy or stupid, Persian. You can afford neither in Sparta.
What makes this woman think she can speak among men?
Because only Spartan women give birth to real men.
Let us walk to cool our tongues. If valuable rides over your complete annihilation, listen carefully, Leonidas. Xerxes conquers and controls everything he rests his eyes upon. He leads an army so massive it shakes the ground with its march, so vast it drinks the rivers dry. All the god King Xerxes requires is this, a simple offering of earth and water, a token of Sparta's submission to the will of Xerxes. Submission. No, that's a bit of a problem. See, rumor has it, the Athenians have already turned you down. And if those philosophers and boy lovers have found that kind of nerve, then we must be diplomatic. And of course, Spartans have their reputation to consider. Choose your next words carefully, Leonidas. They may be your last as king. And water. Madman. You're a madman. Air and water. But you'll find plenty of both down there. No man, Persian or Greek, no man threatens a messenger. You bring the crowns and heads of conquered kings to my city steps. You insult my queen. You threaten my people with slavery and death. Oh, I've chosen my words carefully, Persian. Perhaps you should have done the same. This is blasphemy. This is madness. Madness. This is Sparta!
Power. So the reason it resonates so much, if any of you knows this, there's a couple of clips missed out with the Queen missed out, which were very, very poignant moments of the scene. And I don't know why whoever edited this video on the right cut them out, because it doesn't make sense. There's a reason they were left in the real film. And as you watch through now, I'll also narrate it now. So this is what I see when I watch it. This is why it's so relevant to me. So obviously he's fighting with his son, training his son. He's already preparing his son to take over from him at some stage because he's the next heir to the throne. And I don't think people understand what a big responsibility that is. You're going to tell a kid that some point, we don't know when, it may be very soon, you're going to be responsible for every single person around you, every single person you know, every single person you ever met, because that's the kingdom. And this is going to be yours. You are going to take on this role. And if we took it more seriously like this, same as if you're training someone up to be a manager or take your role and you go more senior or you leave to replace you. If you took it more seriously like this, not passing the torch, standards would be maintained, culture would be maintained, everything would just go better because people don't care and they're just so self-serving these days that we don't even think about what would a king do, what would a great leader do. Because most people are not. They're just managers. They put in charge of a group of people, none of whom are a leader. And this, preparing your son to take the throne, this is how I see being a father. This is what I've been doing with my kids. Like, we need to make you capable, physically capable. You're a man. You've got to be protective and serving people. That's your job. And you're not going to do it. We're not in a king setting, but if I get to a high point in my life, you are going to have someone to take over because you're my son. So I pass the torch. I've gone this far. You carry on the mission. That's how I see things, and that's what this is what we've evolved like. Even if it was just a carpenter, his son was a carpenter, and his son was a carpenter. They just pass on the legacy of some kind, even though that was only a small impact, and his is a big impact. They all still had to have some sort of impact or something that carried on. Where did that go wrong? Because men are not even staying around. How are you supposed to prepare your son to take over from you to be a great man when you're not even a man in the first place? You run away. And then his closest advisor goes to his queen, who is the man's right hand, his equal, who's watching over the whole thing as a proud, powerful mother. And they're both equally important roles. This is how human beings evolve. Equally important roles, just different. Mums are supposed to do some stuff, dads are supposed to do some stuff.
You fight with your head. Then you fight with your heart.
What is it?
A Persian messenger awaits you.
Nervousness in her voice.
Do not forget today's lesson.
Respect and honor.
Respect and honor.
The king. Then they all go out together. Where's the queen stand? She's a queen. She's not a princess. She's not standing at the back with the maids. She's not even standing behind the men. No, she's a powerful queen that stands at the front, in front of most of the men.
Even a king's messenger is held accountable for the words of his voice. Now.
No, it's not that important.
Do not be coy or stupid, Persian. You can afford neither in Sparta.
Just the balls to just voice something like that and just put him in his place. I have women like this in my life, powerful women, and it's just one of the most incredible things because he's in shock, and that's how most men are. And ultimately, he's more physically capable than her. Like physically strong, obviously, but fighting ability at this stage was a thing. But he wouldn't even dare to lay a hand on her because she has significantly more power because she's a queen, and he would get murdered within seconds. But it's the fact she just says that. He doesn't even know what to say because, especially in those times, women wouldn't, as he says.
Before you speak, speak among men.
Because I'm Persian, you can afford neither in Sparta.
What makes this woman think she can speak among men?
Because only Spartan women give birth to real men.
And when you've had a partner that's got fire and they're capable, that look of just, you've just been told. Yeah, you know. And then he has to just kind of be the plastic one. We're just going to walk. Oh, she's completely eyeing the guy down. Look at her the whole time. Never takes her eyes off. So she's a warrior. She's not just so I'm saying with a queen. So if I'm then saying I'm trying to resemble a king in a modern day sense, who am I looking for? A powerful queen. Look, the look that she has. The way she's right beside her king.
So massive, it shakes the ground with its mark.
And she's listening to everything that's being said. The men are further back. They're not. They're not the decision makers. They've got more here, but they've not got as much up here. She has. That's why she's the queen, not the other women. When he says surrender. And you see Leonidas all the time just thinking. Just thinking. And she's thinking. They're both thinking. And this is a big decision. And let's go around his head. A big decision. And that's why he slows down. Submission with Spartans.
No, that's a bit of a problem.
No chance.
See, rumor has it the Athenians have already done.
And then he shits his pants.
And if those
because he's trying to get in their pockets and he's a coward. But when you got women like this, then your men are going to be even more so. So anti-establishment, warriors, brave. We can't respect a coward. I'm sorry. You're a coward. You're trying to be diplomatic. These are not coming to be diplomatic. They're coming to threaten us. So that's why Leonidas is choosing to be calm right now.
They may be your last as king.
And that is just it's very, very tense. But it's this bit, and this editor cut it out. This is the most important bits of the scene. What does Leonidas do as a king? He looks at his kingdom. He looks at the women. And if you saw my reaction when I was watching this the first time, it was this. He's looking at the women and the people that are scared. The people he's responsible for. He's just responsible for keeping them safe. Kids, women, children. And I know what would be going through his head. And then he looks at his queen, his beautiful queen. And then he's just feeling that goes from the brain, heart, adrenaline. And the queen didn't even move there. She doesn't even move at all. And it's the fact that all of them step in without question, that Leonidas has made a decision. We do not even question his judgment in a time like this. Although there's moments to question it, when it's like this, we act now, act questions later. Because we trust his judgment. Because a great king is trusted by his people. Because he would only act in the good of his people. Not just act in the good of himself and his own self-interest. It's all about the people. Keeping the people safe. It's the reason why he's got anger in the first place. This.
comes to my city steps, you insult my queen. You threaten my people with slavery and death. Oh, I've chosen my words carefully, Persian. Perhaps you should have done the same. This is blasphemy.
Then what does he do?
This is madness.
He's unsure because this is going to cause a war. She hasn't moved yet. And the look is, this is going to cause a war. I know. Kicking on the fucking hole. Down the hole.
This is Sparta!
It's because out of every single person, a great queen will always have the final say over a decision with a great king. And that is why it's so damn important. If you're trying to be a man achieving anything in your life, that you need a great queen by your side. And until you find one, you stay single. Because the wrong woman will destroy everything you try to build. Not intentionally, not even necessarily. It's just that most women... Let me turn that back. Leonidas. There. Power. Most women will still love and support someone. But the fact is, if you're trying to go somewhere serious, you need someone who's going to be unshakable under pressure in the same way that you were. Because there's times that you won't be sure. You won't know if it'll work out. You're operating on sheer belief. And when a lot of people's safety, jobs, families, food on the table, roofs over their heads, and all that responsibility rests on your shoulders in a single decision, you have to be sure. And you can't always make that decision on your own because it's too much of a big decision. You need other perspectives. You need to see more. So you have your board of advisors, but who has the final say? Who will be the final person you turn to? The queen. Always be the queen. And that requires a lot. It requires a great man first. That's the first thing out of everything in the scenario. A great man has to be made. Because a great man then attracts the people, empowers the people, that then grows the tribe in the first place. Without anyone else, it starts to form some structure. But with the great queen, everything changes. Because you could have someone that stops you from getting as far as you want to because they're not capable of going that far. They just haven't got the character, they haven't got the skills. Sometimes it could be they don't necessarily have the intelligence, and there's nothing wrong with that. And this is what I was trying to say to a lot of people, that there's some people that I've dated, and they are some incredible woman for someone else. And although I still think they're incredible for what I'm looking for, they're not my preference. Because I'm looking for this kind of queen, not just any kind of queen. Because I'm trying to be this kind of king. I know some people are probably going to say, oh, he's trying to be a king. It's because when I say I'm trying to be a king, it was the best. When I looked at all the different types of leaders, it was the one that fit me the best. It was great and wise king, I think was the best. I was on ChatGPT doing a lot of research. So I say emperor, ruler, politician, governor, dictator, all these kind of things, king, great king. And you would say realistically the closest thing would be a prime minister, because that's voted in by the people and the people put you there. But I'm not a prime minister. I'm quite the opposite. I'm more like this guy. And I looked at some examples of great kings, and it was things like Black Panther. Even though I said fictional, non-fictional, he was one of them. Yeah, okay. That's also another person I looked to as a great king. Some of the things he does, I know it's a character. And we don't know the truth to this story anyway, because it's too long ago to have any of us to have an opinion. But I know what the films taught me. And this character in this film, and what he represents, and the way he conducts himself, and the way he is with his queen, and the type of queen he has, and the way the tribe form around him, and just everything about that. I'm trying to build a modern day version of the same thing. But everything I do is for the good of my people, and my people mean everything to me. I'm looking for a queen who can stand by my side with unshakable levels of confidence and be the one who's able to help me make incredibly difficult decisions, who's respectful, powerful, keeps me accountable, reminds me every single day why I'm doing this. Like, this is the thing. And I've never felt so driven as when I've then started to form this. And this is why I wanted to talk about the scene, because it's just everything. It's everything I see going forward. It's just a very old version of it. You know, if people worked together, you'd achieve way much. I mean, we see the battle. Obviously, it's a film. We don't know what the real battle was like, but we know they were significantly outnumbered. Significantly outnumbered. But when you fight together as a tribe, as brothers, you're not just an army that's been brought together. You have grown up together. You are family, blood, shared everything together. Absolute trust, transparency, honesty. And this is what a tribe would be. Because if you weren't honest and you weren't honourable and you weren't useful, you didn't bring anything, you were just selfish, you would get removed from the tribe. Why would you be part of a tribe? You don't bring anything. The tribe is all about being selfless. And the kind of people I've met in my life now are very selfless. It's not a single one of us is selfish. And that's the whole point. And that's what's made me so driven now to find the queen, to bring the rest of us together and go on to what we're supposed to be doing. Because when you've got people behind you that look at you like, we trust you, we trust your judgment, you can do this. And you get messages like that. Your queen doing it is one thing, but then your closest advisors doing it is another. And it makes you feel like you could take on absolutely anything. And that's how I feel right now. Because this has been playing in my head for years. Just think about the actions of these men, these real men. At a time when real men existed. But these are still real women. It's not some princesses. Even the less capable women are powerful women. A lot of women threaten to ruin everything you're trying to build. And that's because some of them will love you unconditionally, but if they're not trying to go where you're trying to go, a lot of women can become a distraction. And it's hard to say that because at the same time, I work too much. It is now 10 to 4 in the morning, by the way. I work way too much. But I do it because I picture the future self, the future life, and the fact I'm doing it for the good of the people. But I do need someone to slow me down at times like this when I could be asleep and make me calm. Because the wrong woman can ruin everything. The right woman can bring you so much peace. And I've noticed that I work at a much higher capacity when I'm with the right kind of person to bring me peace. It's one of the things I choose someone for. Like, it's not looks. Ultimately, I wouldn't consider dating someone that isn't training seriously and in shape, and by nature they're going to be quite good looking. That's just part of it. I mean, that's obviously my preference, but it's all the other stuff. Like, how do you make me feel? My life can be quite stressful. I'm trying to do this stuff that's just massive and take responsibility for so many people. It's hard. But then if someone just brings me peace instantly, my head's doing up this in the day, peace, down. That person's so different to everyone else. and it's things like that. Are our goals in alignment? Are you the same kind of crazy that you want to take on this ridiculous task of trying to not just acquire freedom in every capacity for yourself and then your partner, but actually a big group of people. The further we go, actually, the bigger the group's going to get, because the community is going to grow bigger. We will build bigger things as a group that we've already now got. And it kind of does take a level of crazy to do that. And I'm fully aware of that. And the things I would then require to choose someone now, it's so different to what it used to be. Used to be, do you do a similar kind of job? Do you train and you were nice? That was it. And that isn't what I'm looking for anymore. They are prerequisites at this stage of my life, because of, well, I'm really nice and I'm really loving and supportive and protective, and I'll do absolutely anything for my partner and my friends and pretty much anyone else I care about, or just anyone even just ask for help. I'll do pretty much anything. One of the nicest people you'll come across, unless you cross me. But being that person, you need to find someone else who's like that, otherwise it's just not going to work. And I've got people around me right now that make me feel like a hero, make me feel like a champion. You always need your support network. And I've never felt so capable to go on and achieve things. And a way to 4 times that is your partner, who should be your biggest cheerleader. And this goes both ways, by the way, guys. Biggest cheerleader, biggest fan. The person that shows up the most, that gives you the most energy, that brings you the most peace, just the most of everything. Yeah, same for you. You should want one that shows the most, makes her feel the best. She wants to spend the most time with you because you make her feel the best. It should be about the way you feel. It's not just about the way you look or what you can bring someone after a while, because everyone can. So how do you make someone feel? I've got people around me right now because of the way I make them feel. Make them feel special, make them feel valued, appreciated. So important, especially if you're going to go into any kind of leadership role. So you have to do from every single person within your care, and that's any organisation that you're high up in. Every single person below you is within your care. And if you don't take that very seriously, I don't think you should be in any kind of senior position. You should be self-employed, working for yourself, if you don't want to care about other people. And that's the way it often is. You care. Most people I've come across care about making money. They don't care about being a king, a leader, respected and liked. Because the thing is, you can still be respected and liked and not have to piss take out you as a leader. You need to lead by a good enough example and strong enough that when you do have to shout, it doesn't upset people. They actually feel guilty because you treat them so well that if they've upset you to that degree, they must be really in the wrong. Because I've had great leadership in some of the jobs I've had in the past, and these are guys that would get on their hands and knees and clean if they had to. Well, if they ask me to jump, I ask how high, because if they've done that, I can't possibly say no to a thing. It's crazy, that little bit, them showing that they're prepared to do every job. Well, how can I say no to any job if he's willing to get on his hands and knees? And if he just said thank you, when you've not had it for years and you've gone over and above, you eventually start to stop caring, because you realise that no one cares about you. And then just someone saying, thank you, I really appreciate your effort today. Oh my God, no one said that. Just little things like that mean so much to people. And that's your partner, that's your friends, that's your colleagues. And anyone else in your life. Show some appreciation, show some gratitude, show some care, show up for them, show some love, kindness, compassion. But most of all, if you're a man with any kind of capability, you protect the people that are around you. You take responsibility for their safety. Even if we've got strong women who can take care of themselves, and they've stepped up massively the last few years, even if there's other strong guys, it's your responsibility. If you're built big, you have a moral obligation. You have this thing, this big, strong body, like a suit of armour that the rest of them don't have. So you go to the front and you be brave. Because if you want to attract a queen, you've got to be brave in the first place. It's the only way any high quality woman, and I would class, when I say queen, I'm not talking bad attitude, you can't handle me, I'm a queen. I'm talking a powerful woman that walks in the room and commands respect and has the same kind of a presence as a high value man that could walk in a room and every single person takes notice. It's a different attitude. It's not attention seeking. They just draw people to them. Because that's what that calm, confident, stoic energy that both men and women can have has. You see a woman with presence walk in the room is special. It's way more rare than a man. When one of those comes in, you'll see what I'm talking about.